Want to delete Jumbo Shermans, IS tanks, and other heavy tanks in your Tiger 1? You need to know these weak spots, because right now, you're getting slapped in the cupola by Jumbos when you should be dominating. Let's fix that. Starting with the Jumbo Sherman. The cupola is a weak spot. It's not easy to aim for, and I only recommend shooting that if it's hull down. If you have the Panzergranate ammo, you can aim for the turret ring. It's not that reliable and is a bit tricky due to the geometry. The MG port is everyone's favorite weak spot to mention, but what they don't say is that from far ranges it's hard to hit. In my opinion, there's a better weak spot. Shoot the lower hole near the final drives on the outside. You'll go through and deal a lot of damage to a Sherman, and this works out to a pretty good range if you're using Panzergranate 39. One other thing about the Jumbo Sherman is that if he makes the mistake of angling his tank, his lower side armor is very thin, shoot that and you'll kill him in one shot. Moving on to the regular Pershing. Its cupola is a small target, it's good for close range shots. The turret cheeks are weak only if you have the Panzergranate 39 round loaded. Shoot to the loader's side next to the gun shield to hit ammo, blowing him up. The machine gun port is a weak spot for the Pershing. It works with both ammunition types. You go through here, you're going to deal a lot of damage. However, this weak spot is small. You have other weak spots like the hatches on the hull. Going through here is going to deal significant damage, if not kill him in one shot. Another weak spot the Pershing has the lower glacis, but you can't just shoot anywhere. You have to shoot on the outer sides where it's less angled. You go through here, he's gonna be hurting real bad. If this vehicle is angled, you should just go for the turret shot on the sides of the turret or the crew hatches, dealing significant damage to him. Looking at the heavier armored T26E5, you can go for the cupola, although this is a bit of a trolley shot. It will work in a pinch though. One great place to shoot, although small, is beneath the gun shield. Shoot the loader side just like in the regular Pershing, you'll hit ammo, blowing him up. Unlike the Pershing, the machine gun port is not a weak spot for the T26E5 for your Tiger 1. Do not shoot there. Just like with the regular Pershing, you can actually shoot those crew hatches sticking out. With the lower glacis, very similar situation to the Pershing, however you have to go even further out on the sides to deal any damage to him. If this tank is angled, you should just either go for that turret ring shot or go for the crew hatch weak spots. Looking at the other upgraded Pershing, the Super Pershing, the cupola is a very good weak spot, however it's a small target. One weak spot you may not know about with the Super Pershing is the elevation springs just above the gun. You don't need much penetration to go through here, and damaging this component will disable his vertical traverse, allowing you to make follow-up shots a lot easier. Just like the other Pershings, the crew hatches are small but usable in a pinch. The Super Pershing also has a vulnerable machine gun port, however the additional armor makes it harder to shoot. This tank's turret is just like the regular Pershing if you avoid hitting the additional armor plating. If this tank is angled, remember it's just a regular Pershing turret, shoot the sides of the turret. He's gonna blow up. Looking at the US T34 Heavy tank, the turret is a no-go zone, do not shoot it anywhere there. An option that you do have is the crew hatches just like any other American tanks. One thing about the MG port is that you do not want to shoot around the armored part around the gun barrel there. Shoot on the outer part of the machine gun port to penetrate. The lower side armor is a similar story with the other tanks. You have to shoot the outer sides. Going through here is going to do a lot of damage to the tank. If this tank is angled, you can go for the sides of the MG port on the hole here, or the crew hatches. Do not shoot the turret, it's still pretty well armored against your tank. Moving over to the IS-1, the turret cheeks are a great weak spot. Just avoid the gun shield as the armor overlap is going to make it harder to go through. The cupola is also a great weak spot, works at long range too because it's so dang big. The driver's hatch is a weak spot, however it's quite small. A better option is to go for its lower glacis as that's a lot bigger of a weak spot. Aim for the upper part here as it has much less effective thickness. If angled, just shoot the commander's cupola or the curved part of the upper front of the hole like this. The early IS-2 has the same armor profile as the IS-1, so we'll skip that. Moving over to the IS-2 1944, the cupola is a weak spot. The lower glacis, unlike the IS-1, is much better protected at around 160mm of effective armor. Do not shoot this at all costs. The turret front to the left of the gun is your best shot if you can't shoot the cupola. If angled, the best shots you can make are the cupola or towards the front of the turret around the gun, doing a lot of damage to this tank. Moving over to the super heavy Tortoise, the best shot you can make is the cupola up here. You can penetrate the Tortoise's side armor as long as he's not angled with with both APHE types at close range. If you face this tank from the rear, shoot down the center of the casemate near the top like this, and you're going to deal significant damage to him. As you're mastering the Tiger 1, you'll eventually research the Urgly Tiger 2. This tank has weaknesses like a weak turret front. I show you how to counter these as well as how to use the tank effectively in this video here.